So Apple brought out the brand new Apple iPhone 6s that we have on the table right now, but Samsung has already since April a new flagship in the same size category with 5.1 inches, almost having the same size than the new iPhone, which kept the same design as last year. So we have the 6s versus the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge here. The S6 is the same in hardware specs, except for the S6 Edge has a little bit of a bigger battery, 50 milliamps, but that doesn't count for much. So we have on both the latest hardware in terms of their own understandings here in the companies, because we have on both 4K video capabilities now if you want to record high resolution videos, otherwise metal bodies, nice displays with different resolutions obviously, and also round about the same price. So we have $700 for each if you want to buy them new. Samsung has a lot of different colors. I like the green one the best, but we are not here about talking about the color. But what we want to show you guys is especially how the cameras compare with each other, the software and the hardware. So let's check them out first from the outside. Let me put them on top of each other to show you that we have 7.1 versus 7 millimeters here in thickness. So the Samsung should be actually a little bit slimmer. It doesn't seem to be slimmer, but yeah, it doesn't matter much if you ask me in an everyday use. But we have in the Samsung a lot bigger battery with 2600 milliamps that are inside versus just 1700 here in the Apple, which is almost 30% more for Samsung. But actually with the Samsung you need more battery because the display will use a lot more, since we have a higher resolution, a much higher resolution of 2560 times 1440, and on the Apple we have almost exactly half of that with 750 times 1334. Ports-wise, or here button-wise, volume rockers, here we have the mute switch, which the Samsung doesn't have, but it has an infrared port, so you can control all your hi-fi systems. The SIM card slot is on the Samsung on the top, while on the Apple it's on the side with the on and off switches here, and you have seen the bottom where we have virtually the same connectors except for micro USB and of course Lightning. Both have a standing out camera on the back, and with Apple it doesn't stand out as much as with the Samsung, but the Samsung has a 16 megapixel sensor, which is amazing, and if you ask me you will see that it's a lot better than the iPhone 6s's camera. Otherwise, here we have also the heart rate sensor built in and a single LED flash. Apple has a dual LED flash, so that's also quite nice. And yeah, metal body here on the Apple all around, with Samsung only on the borders, and otherwise glass cover on the back, which looks also quite neat. Otherwise, there's not much else to say about the outsides. We have on both the fingerprint reader inside, which I'll show you guys, which is faster, or that both are exactly the same as speed. If you check that out. On the front we have on both a 5 megapixel camera, and then otherwise on the inside we have here 8 cores of really high performance. Here only 2 cores with 1.8 gigahertz, but what we have in both is of course a lot of RAM. Here we have 3 gigs of RAM and here only 2, but 2 should be enough for the lesser display resolution. And yeah, the display seems to be a little bit here unclean, but whatever, and once I turn the screen on you won't see it anyhow. So let's try that Touch ID comparison. Let's press on both the button and let's wait. Was quite fast on both. Let's try that again. Turn here on the off the device, and let's just press on both the buttons again. Yeah, almost instantly on both. Don't mind here the little flickering on the Samsung that you can only see on the camera. It's the display technology. They just have a different backlight. So what we will do now is, of course, show you guys a little bit of gaming and the camera. Let's start off with gaming. Maybe I have here on both the same game downloaded called Relic Run. None of them had running it before, so they don't have it running in the background. So let me just press or start the game, and then we will see which loads faster and which runs it with less hiccups. So again, 2 gigs of RAM versus 3 gigs. So Samsung should be faster, but it's not. Here you can play it already. Lara Croft is already kind of bored. And here, yeah, now we can also play. Don't mind if I die quite quickly, since I have to concentrate on 2 displays at the same time, and even with one it would be enough for me to try to do everything. Like, yeah, I died already. But that will probably happen here also quite quickly, and yeah. I think both run it quite nice, even though there is a much higher resolution on the Samsung, but that's why we need a faster processor, obviously. Much more interesting for a lot of people is the camera comparison, so let's start up on both the camera. Oops, sorry for that. And let's see, here, let's turn that around, which camera is better. So let me just put them exactly right next to each other, and let's see, for example, if you just have one thing here in the middle. The wide angle is on the Samsung seems to be better, since we have the bottom to the top completely in the picture here of the Apple box, and on the left the Touch ID is not even in the inside. Of course, it's not as tall as you can see. The iPhone is a little bit smaller, but if I reach it up to the same height, it's the same. Otherwise, we can go here into the video mode, where you have a better picture or a bigger screen of the picture, but here the Samsung would shoot the same video and photo. So if I press the video button now, it will just record here what you can see on video. So again, Samsung is the winner here. Let's compare the front cameras, where we have, as I said, on both the 5 megapixel camera, but there's a different lens on the Samsung, since the wide angle again there is a lot bigger. Let me switch it to video, to photo, so you have a comparable picture. And now if you say, yeah, Apple has something like this live photo thing, where you can, for example, just here have that little live animation photo. Samsung had that for 2 years now built in. That's not so new, so that's not something that, for example, Apple has that Samsung doesn't have. HDR, the same, and all the features, actually both phones have that, and that's not so special. So comparable, I would say definitely Samsung has a better camera now. And if you ask yourself why the screen is so dim here, actually I haven't put on the max brightness, it was just on half the brightness, and you can see now that both look exactly the same good. So what else is there to compare? Of course, we could, for example, just open up on both the browser. There we go, and then see, for example, with the keyboard open, how quickly they turn around. Again, here both seem to be the same. And yeah, there's other micro tests, like for example voice recognition and stuff like that we could do. But basically both are quite beautiful smartphones with the latest hardware inside, and I think with both buys the people will be satisfied, and there's no reason to get one or the other, since both have great cameras, great gaming capabilities, and also a lot of storage space if you buy it, because on both you cannot expand the storage via microSD, which is a little bit sad. So this was a really short comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge or S6 and the Apple iPhone Apple iPhone 6s. We will do the same thing with the S6 Edge Plus, of course, and the 6s Plus by Apple. So definitely check that out also on my YouTube channel. Thank you much for watching. Until next time, peace and again. My name is Balazs, and bye.